96 to 2003.
That's the third strike. How much time did they issue?
24 to life.
And they don't give you no good time, good behavior.
Do 85% of whatever they gave.
I feel like my life on the line. Jungle in these streets, speak your piece on the line. Hustle to increase, put it all on the line. House, big spouse, family, freedom, walking yards on the line. Every day I wait for like my life on the line. Jungle in these streets, speak your piece on the line.
So Big Steele, you've been around, let's just say, the industry for quite some time now.
Yeah, I've been around for a minute, man, and it ain't too much I ain't seen, but I'm always learning, man, because it changes all the time. You know, like one thing I can say is I saw the podcast stuff happen early on, like real early on.
That's how you how did you come up with the Gangster Chronicles?
Yeah.
You know what, man? I was sitting with my homeboy. I actually managed Glasses Malone, the rapper Glasses Malone, and on top of that, me and him was really good friends. So we were sitting over my house one night, and one of those crime shows happened to be on TV, right? You know, you could be talking, but some come on TV and catch your interest. Yeah. I said, you know what, man, that would be a really nice podcast, man, to have a street dude, a gangster, a dude that's a former law enforcement person, and like kind of just like a mediator, like, you know, in between those two, right? You know, he's a regular civilian type of dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was probably 2 years before I actually did it. You know, so this thought was a thought of my mind for a few years before it actually happened, you know?
Right.
So I was kind of, you know, I was kind of just sitting back and looking at this stuff, not really thinking about it like that, you know what I mean? But I was thinking about it here and there. I would always revisit it. And so one day, Glasses had sent me a video clip of James. And it wasn't on Vlad TV. It was something else he was doing. I think it was something he was doing for like the Death Row Chronicles or something like that. And I heard him talking. I said, man, that's the dude that we need. But he wasn't on no social media. It wasn't no way to find this dude. How the hell did you find this dude? You know, I didn't know how to find him on Facebook and then so I found Reggie Wright. I got in contact with Reggie Wright and said, hey, man, I got an idea. And I said, actually, he'd be perfect because, you know, he's a guy that was a former cop. So we met up, man, and we had knocked down a few episodes. And then we brought the other dude in. I ain't going to say his name, but we brought another cat in and it was going. Then egos getting away and stuff. Well, actually, it wasn't all bad. Reggie had got locked up. Reggie had, you know, some stuff going on and he had to go sit down for a minute. So, it wound up eventually. I wound up sitting in the chair, man, because James couldn't do the show by himself. So it was, and here we are today, man. You know, we coming up on our 100th episode pretty soon, and it just went from there. It seemed like, man, it's been a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, it really hasn't. You know?
No,
it really hasn't, man. Yeah, we only on our I think 94th episode, man.
Oh, okay.
Well,
it's very, very catching. You know, you done had some of everybody come through there, from lawyers to criminal, crime ball. I mean, everything. And this is something that you can go look up publicly. I'm not blowing nobody's cover or nothing. But yeah, you done had all kind of, man, just a little bit of everything on there.
Well, that was the thing, man. Because see, the show, man, is all about, you know, chronicle means to tell a story or to highlight, you know, stories. So we tell Gangster Chronicles, man. See, the thing is, there's elements of gangsterism in everything in our society. You got gangsterism in politics. You have gangsterism in the police department. You have gangsterism, you know, you got you know, you got an element in the streets and everything nowadays, right? So we interview everybody, man, from the criminal to the person that's on the side of the law to where you could be a rapper and come on the show, but you got to have certain qualifications. Like, as popular as Drake is not necessarily the person we would go out to look to have on the Gangster Chronicles, because you have to have an element, you know, like what neighborhoods you from? Have you ever sold some dope or something? Have you ever been in a particular type of situation? You know what I mean? So you got to be a certain type of individual.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this too. Being that you've been pushing Gangster Chronicles for this all the way up until this 94th episode, is there any subject that y'all stay away from? You know, because like when you're in a barbershop, it's open game to talk about anybody and anything. But with the Gangster Chronicles, is there something you like, nah, that's a subject we want to stay away from?
Well, you know what? We tend to stay away from the stuff that can get somebody hurt or killed. You know what I mean? Just
Oh
being
yeah,
real,
very
we
yeah.
tend, we stay away, man. Like, on the other side, we stay away from talking about people's sexual preferences and stuff like that. We try not to pass judgment on people because now we at a point where we're dealing with sponsorship. So when you're dealing with a sponsor, you don't never know what their lifestyle is. So you can mess around and say the wrong thing, and now you don't cost yourself some serious money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. You ain't lying. And then somebody might be waiting outside for you.
Oh yeah, for sure, and that's another element of it, man. Because the thing is, there's some dudes out here that ain't playing no games. You know what I mean? And it's like I don't care who you are, anybody can get knocked down at any time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We call it the element of surprise. It's all about who gets to drop first.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing with us, man. We just really always try to just keep it positive. Like on our show, I like to look at it as something positive. We don't glorify no gang banging by any stretch of the imagination. We don't glorify it. We want these kids to know that it's a consequence to everything that you do. You just don't, it's like that's the movies and these rappers that got people thinking they can go out and do all and sell a ton of dope and kill niggas and do all kind of stuff and get away with it. But no, it's a consequence with that. You can wind up somewhere. If you don't wind up dead, they definitely got a 6x9 for your ass.
That's what they do got for those viewers and listeners.
And it's room. No matter what prison it is, there's always room for more.
State, federal, county, local, they there. They got a room for you. Hey, look. So, what's going on with Digital Soapbox, Gangster Chronicles? Where are we at in today's day with that?
Well, 3 months ago, Gangster Chronicles, we did a deal with iHeart, and Charlemagne the God situation, Black Effects. And right now, what we're doing with the network, we kind of reshuffling some things because, like you said, it's a lot of work. And then once we got this situation with iHeart, it kind of took me away by me actually having to actually go on that show, and it started back then before we did the deal, by me having to actually become a member of the Gangster Chronicles. It took me away because I was the only executive, so to speak. So even though I got a partner, my partner is doing the show, and he in the East Coast, right? So the only one everybody ever see is Steele. So I get, man, my phone ring. I took a break the other day, man. I counted, me and my wife just counted how many times the phone rang. It rang 450 times, man. So it's like,
wow.
I got to the point, man, to where I wouldn't have no time for myself because it'd be on a Saturday on a thing. And it's just like, it's like I start turning into an octopus. And you know what happens is when you get so overwhelmed with stuff, something is going to suffer.
Yeah,
it's gonna be something. Either your family go suffer, the business go suffer, because you can only be pulled so many directions. So what I did, man, is I just kind of just slowed everything down and said, you know what, man, I have to build me a team, not a team. It's easy to go find talent. It's easy. It's not easy to develop shows necessarily. I'm not saying that people so don't think, you can go do something easy. No, I'm not saying that. It's just you have to have a team with you.
Yes, sir.
You gotta have a team because you can't do everything. You can't do everything yourself. And that's one thing I had to realize, like even when we made the transition over to iHeart, we have a producer for the show. They got facilities we could do the show at. I was still caught up in the business of I'm gonna edit the show, I'm gonna do this and do that. Like me and Brian were doing this, and I said, you know what, man, I gotta sit back and start delegating. So I brought on a young lady by the name of Nicole. She's gonna be helping with a lot of stuff. I gotta actually it's so crazy because I got to try to find a time to sit down with her to get her acclimated to everything. So I give her some assignments. We got my dude Brian, who with him I couldn't do half of this stuff, man. My boy, y'all.
Yeah, shout out to Smooth Cut Productions. Smooth Cut Productions. Thank you very much for all the hands-on work you do. Again, these are people you may or may not know or see, but he's one of them.
No,
he's a good dude, man. Actually, it's like. And I look at Digital Soapbox as a family because now for the first time on the roster, we got everybody as truly people that I like. You feel what I'm saying? It's like before, I had a few people that was on the network that was suckers, man. I didn't really fuck with these niggas like that. Part of my cousin, but it's like, I just didn't. It was all business. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It was all business. But now, we got on the line, man. We got my boy, We got my boy Yuckmouth. We got Ghost that we gonna get cracking off again. So all this stuff that I want to get going, you feel what I'm saying? That I get going. And before the problem was, I've done so much in this business that I've had very good situations. I've had situations that started off being good that wound up going bad. Like we had a situation prior to us going over to iHeart to where we did a deal with a company called Himalaya. Now Himalaya is a great company. Very nice company. I have nothing bad to say about them, but in the process of us going to Himalaya, they had sold me on these facilities they had. Oh man, we got 3 studios in the mansion in Beverly Hills and all that. It was all good. We signed a deal, go over there. 2 months into the deal, I get an email like early in the morning from some dude in Japan talking about some dude, Peter, done went rogue and he done took over the corporate offices and everything like that. And so I'm like, okay, what the hell going on now? So I'm trying not to panic, right? I talked to him. He said, oh, man, we just not getting along, but I really want you to stay. And so I'm thinking at the time, like, well, shit, this crib is in this dude's name, so they not going to get this back. I'm going to keep this opportunity, right over here, give them a chance. So we doing reads, and for what people don't know, reads are how you get paid, the commercials and stuff like that. So we doing reads, and I'm knowing the money not coming in how it's supposed to, and I'm patient because I understand how stuff works. But then after a while, I'm kind of looking because I'm noticing this dude is doing an absorbent amount of drugs.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
we record.
I don't give a fuck, it's the truth. But check
Go on
this
and
out.
speak the truth, homie.
Yeah, you're gonna speak the truth. This is the truth. So, and I'm just warning, telling people like everything that glitter ain't gold, So I'm noticing that this dude is, he's starting to do drugs and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of tripping off of it. And I'm not gonna let you build up no tab on me. I'm smart. I know how to count my losses and walk away. So we got to the point to where the dude owe us $7,000-$8,000, and I'm like, I'm not doing no more reads. They called me, Steele, you had some reads doing this show. I said, I ain't got shit to do until y'all pay me for them other ones. Ain't no more reads being done. I ain't gonna keep lining y'all pockets up. I had to be the dumbest motherfucker in the world to keep doing some shit like that.
Yeah, that's for real.
So
real,
you got
not for
stuff
play.
like that, but I don't look at it as a bad experience, man. I look at stuff like that as learning experiences.
Yeah, and the beat goes on.
Yeah.
So I want to know this. What you got going, like far as your upcoming shows, or are you gonna be doing anything that we need to know about for the viewers?
Listeners? We in the process right now, and I can't talk too much about it, but I can tell you a little bit about what it's about. We got a really big, and I don't want to call it television. It's actually a streaming service, right? Because for what people don't know, a lot of people don't have an idea what a podcast actually is. So when you see videos on YouTube and a video like we may be doing now, some of y'all may see it on video, but the podcast is actually the audio portion of that show. It's all 100% audio. So what we're doing is a little bit more. We're going to be focusing a little bit more on our visual right now. We're about to do a deal with a company that when I tell you this company is probably going to be bigger than YouTube, and it's going to be real big. I can't say too much about it, but it's something that's happening.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Every day on the line. Every day on the line. Every day. Digital Soapbox. Every day on the line. I remember every day on the line.